Nice drink.
Oh my gosh. Less than 10 minutes. Oh, wait a minute. Pass one down to Jerry. Pass one down to Jerry.
Airmail.
Please. Down the road. Airmail, no. It's stapled.
Thank you. Bombs? Yeah, I see that.
One day. We need a rainbow, not this much.
The grass is going really good.
That's high.
So, get your looking chair.
What are you gonna do on the 4th?
Having a picnic, just family. How about you? How about you?
Nothing so far.
Sometimes that's okay.
We gotta get past one day at a time.
Yeah, I
Gotta
understand.
get some groceries soon, we won't be having
Oh,
nothing.
okay. It's getting a little like Mother Hubbard's cupboard, huh? I have some peanut butter I could have brought you. I got peanut butter the other day and my husband said, you know, there's 2 jars on the shelf. I said, no, I didn't know that.
If it's on sale, I get it anyhow,
Yeah.
because people do, especially ketchup.
Exactly.
Everybody in my family uses ketchup.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Why when it's on sale, I don't buy through
Mm-hmm.
Miracle Whip. That is ridiculous.
I know, it is, isn't it?
Oh my gosh.
Andy, what?
Kids are saying,
Yeah.
I have to be putting these
Mhm.
things.
Saturday, what?
And they just looked at you.
They
That's
don't
what my
understand.
grandchildren do. They just look at me when I say things like
They
that.
don't understand it.
Saturday, I'm
Won't be
working
worse
this
when
one.
they're doing it.
You sure you didn't get these?
This one. Oops.
What are these?
That's clean.
I handed it out, okay?
No,
In order.
we're missing another.
I'm missing an agenda.
Are you able to copy these?
Yeah, you can save them together. Yeah, I have extra copies, they're like, on the chair there.
George, don't look back.
There's a front and a back on the first one and a little bit on the third one.
The second one.
Front and the back,
One back.
And then
Second
back.
sheet. Oh, third sheet.
try to conserve paper a little bit.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's expensive too. It's paper. Everything is. Everything went up. Everything goes up.
Oh, you gotta use that instead of the camera.
Yeah, just kinda, that we can pick up our voices and everything. Alright. It's 1 o'clock, let's call the meeting to order. You guys stand. A moment of silence. Pledge.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call.
Dawn Yingling,
Here.
Sean Yingling,
Here.
Rick Nardelli.
Here.
All right, no meetings were held in May or June. Motion to approve the minutes from April 10th, 2023.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting of April 10th, 2023.
A motion from Rick,
I second it.
second from LeDawn, to accept the motion, to accept the meeting minutes from April 10th, 2023. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, we have two resignations from council. We can make motions on. First one to read is from Greg Spencer, effective 6/15/2023. I, Gregory L. Spencer, will resign from my position of Borough President at Coalport Borough. I am resigning due to moving out of the borough. Respectfully, Gregory L. Spencer. Second one is from Todd Spencer. As of today, 6/14/2023, I, Todd Spencer, hereby resign from the Coalport Borough Council. This resignation is due to the fact I no longer have the time to continue in my current position. Thanks, Todd Spencer. Need a motion to accept Greg's resignation?
Make a motion to accept Greg's.
A motion from Rick,
Second it.
second from LeDawn to accept Greg Spencer's resignation. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now I need a motion to accept Todd's resignation.
Make a motion to accept Todd.
Motion from Rick,
Second it.
second from LeDawn to accept Todd Spencer's resignation. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And we have another resignation from Walt to Coalport Borough Council. I am turning in my resignation as maintenance person. The reason is I am retiring. I will work until July 31st, 2023. Walter Huey. Need a motion to accept Walt's resignation?
I will motion to accept that.
Motion from LeDorn.
Sadly seconded.
Sally seconded by Rick to accept Walt's resignation.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. I do have a letter here from the mayor. I'm assuming she's gonna mean this for Walt also.
I think she's gonna do a separate one for him.
I see, okay.
She just wanted this, but
This is from the mayor. It says, I would like to thank Todd and Greg for their public service. They volunteered at a time when we really needed them. Now it's time to move on and other people to step up. We appreciate the time and effort that the two of them put into the position and helping the taxpayers and us. Sincerely, Mayor Margaret Madalena. All right, we need a motion to advertise for all three positions.
No, we need them, so I'll make a motion to
Motion by-
advertise for 3 positions.
Motion by Rick,
I second it.
second by LeDawn to advertise for all three positions. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Is it possible we can have a, if we put that in the paper, but also maybe do an open day or something on a weekend where we could be up here for an hour or two to do interviews for Walt's position, like an open,
Open house type thing. We can open the
Something like
job
where
thing.
we would have the applications here, and they get filled out, but we can also do the interviews here also.
Sort of like an open job fair.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, if you do open interviews, then they won't sign it till they come here.
True. I mean, we don't have to decide that day or anything, obviously, but we can get a lot of them done. I mean, obviously, they can do an application, and then they can bring it also or turn it in, and we can look at them, but we can
Okay.
also open that up for interviews that day too.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So,
How long do you want this advertised for?
as long as,
Wanna try?
so it's filled, I would say.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
I mean, at least we could try for, yeah.
Yeah, let's do 2 weeks.
I mean, what do you think, Rick? At least a good 2 weeks and then to advertise it
Yeah,
in the paper
let's start 2 weeks, see what comes up.
and see who, and then we can see how many comes in after a week and then just do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we go on that, if any comes in at all.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah.
We're gonna have like a job fair afterwards.
Can you do the 16th?
If we don't have any luck with
I
that.
can get in the paper right away tomorrow if you wanna do the 16th or you wanna wait, it's up to you.
No, we wanna go as quick as possible.
16th?
Yeah.
I think we should go as quick as
We want
possible.
separate ones, one for the maintenance and one for the council
Yes.
volunteers. Do you want me to put, I've done it both ways, I put it a little bit longer, but then sometimes I put it real short for Waltz. You want me to put a little bit in it of what the duties are and if they have to have police clearance for the
So general maintenance and building, grounds and building maintenance work.
year round? Okay.
I pretty much covered it. Right?
Mhm.
Nice.
Without putting a lot of it on it, just for ground maintenance.
What time on the 16th? Same time, is this good for you? It's Sunday.
Yeah, we'll do 1 to 2, 12 to 1.
I'm actually free that day.
So,
Pardon?
I'm free that day.
Really? We come all day, bring lunch? You wanna go ahead and
My
have,
day
shall I advertise for a meeting that day too, in case we have anything come up?
I would do it
Okay.
Yeah.
if it's okay with everyone else here.
let's do, you guys wanna do 12 to 1 for anybody who's interested in position, and then we can have a meeting right
That's on a
after.
Saturday,
16th,
It's a Sunday. and
that's
then
2
it's-
Sundays.
On Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, is that okay?
Okay, yeah, 'cause I'll be out of church by then.
Okay.
All right, visitors and guests? Anybody?
There were several recommendations. I didn't know whether the president was going first. Mr. President, there were several motions in past that have never been acted upon or for the tax collector, a resolution and all that. I was just wondering when that was going to be addressed. And that the tax collector is required by law to have education. In October, there will be a session, and I'd like the council in the next few months to consider. It would probably cost each resident about $1.25, according to another tax collector, in the amount we have for the education, which is in October.
Okay.
I appreciate the council considering to pay that. Thank you for your time, Mr. President.
Anybody else?
Mr. President, while I'm present, this Sunday meeting must be very important, seeing that this council doesn't hold regular monthly meetings anymore. So I did not want to miss this one.
Do you want to explain that or you want me to?
Who wants to be first?
We've had difficulty getting everybody's work schedule straightened out. Yeah. She works every Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 at night up at Tomorrow's Hope. And then she works on the weekend, 6 to 9 in the morning, 6 to 9 at night, about every 2 or 3 weekends a month. So we've been really having an issue. She was able to, in between, this weekend she's working 6 to 9, 6 to 9. So we were able to have a meeting this time, but with Craig and Todd resigning and their schedule not being, accessible for meetings, we've had a rough go the last couple months.
So we gotta figure out a way to get people in town interested in being in one of these chairs.
We
And
weren't.
that is a big problem.
But you took the position.
What's that?
You took the position,
I took the position,
right,
correct.
and you knew what went with it.
I knew what was involved with it.
This is taxpayers' monies that's being spent. You're the caretakers of it.
We understand that, and this is our volunteer too.
If you have month after month, I don't know who's running the borough.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Anybody
Who
want
do
to
you
step
need
up?
to run the borough? There's no borough manager.
Pardon?
There's no borough manager.
And we've been trying to get meetings together, but like Sean was saying, is can't get enough people
So we did it today,
to
so
have one.
we're gonna be hopefully,
On a more regular schedule. Even if it has to be on a Sunday. I mean,
it's legal to have it on a Sunday, so if that's what we have to do, they're willing to do it, so am I.
Book of Guinness.
Pardon?
That'll go into the Book of Guinness.
Yeah.
Only in Coalport Borough.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
anybody else? All right, motion to get the borough truck in along with the plow and spreader to get work done at a cost of no more than $5,000 at Fleming's.
I was looking at that estimate, and I would like to take a look at it myself before we okay it. You know, I take a look at it, being inclined in mechanical work as I am and worked around all this stuff. And if I do agree with all this, then go ahead and have it done, you know, make motion to that effect. But I'd like to look at it first and see if all this stuff does need replaced.
Okay.
Well, it's never been serviced like this.
No, it was, what, 8 years old?
If you put it off another 2 weeks.
Well, that's why I said, I'll take a look, I can take a look at it tomorrow.
I say we make a motion to accept it, like, to pay for it, pending
Why
Rick's
haven't you checked?
approval.
It's been sitting down there, they haven't been able to use it, Ned's been using his truck, Joe's been using his truck.
That way, as soon as he looks at it and gives it the
Yeah,
okay, we
because I'll look
can,
at it, let you know that
Yeah.
if it's okay,
They
go.
wanted
Just
to
straight
do,
over.
they wanted the plow and spreader and everything on it,
Yeah.
and they didn't wanna drive around with all that, weight on it.
the plow and spreader, according to the estimate, the hoses and everything are starting to rust out, the couplers and everything. This estimate is to have the plow and spreader, so the hydraulic lines go over top the back, not underneath the body, or underneath the frame. That'll help keep it from rusting out, from all the salt and everything. That's what the estimate's for, in case anybody was wondering. Yeah, I say, I need a motion. This will come out of, can we put this out of,
Look, if you click it,
yeah.
if you wanna put that in the motion, then it can,
Yeah, I need a motion to pay for the truck and plow pending Rick's approval out of Pliget funds.
I don't know, can I vote on that? Could I vote on that?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, I can't,
You're allowed to vote.
I can't.
Could you have
I can
taken-
vote, I can't make a motion.
Could you have taken it out of liquid fuels instead of the Pliget account?
I make a
Liquid
motion,
fuels, yeah.
Liquid
Yeah.
fuels is the same thing as Pliget.
I'll make a motion to get, pending my inspection and approval, get the truck done at J.W. Fleming's for the month that he had down there.
I have a motion,
Less than $5,000.
motion by Rick,
I second it.
second by LaDawn to have the truck serviced at J.W. Fleming pending Rick's approval for no more than $5,000 out of liquid fuels. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, the treasury report?
I can pull it up and I'll explain why a little later if you don't mind, but I do know that ARPA has close to 33,000 in it. And the general fund has 40-some thousand in it. And Pliget has, it's either 72 or 74. You're gonna have to stay afterwards and help me get that straightened out on there.
All right, motion to pay all the bills due.
I motion to pay all the bills that are due
Second.
to present.
Got a motion by LaDawn, second by Rick to pay all the bills due. And, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. President, if we could go back to the treasurer. Have you secured the SAM number and reactivated that account?
I know.
We have not.
There's a lot of problems with it and we're not the only one. It's really been a mess for a lot of people to be able to do that. And then they shut down their office at one point and switched over to something else and it's been very hard. But I have, let me think of his name. Thompson.
Okay.
What's his, Glenn?
Glenn Thompson.
Glenn Thompson's office is working on it.
Thank you, Mr. President.
We're having an issue with how it was originally put in. We don't know what the information was that was originally put in. So we can't, like we apply for it and it says more information is needed. We don't know what more information there is that's needed.
It's my understanding if it's not activated that you may lose the money that was posed to me when I made some inquiries.
For what?
You may lose some, like the ARPA.
No.
Not if everybody's having trouble with it, I wouldn't think so. I'm not
No.
saying they won't, but out of common sense, would tell you, if everybody's having that same problem, it's gonna set things back. So I would guess, probably not right now until they get everything straightened out, so people can follow up.
If the President of the United States has his way, he will be coming back for your ARPA money that you didn't spend. So.
We have until, I think it's December of next year to spend it. We have more than a year.
Yeah.
And I would say a minimum of 10 times, right? We've tried to get on the ARPA stuff and it's just so, and when I talked to them at the office, they apologized and said this and this, kind of shifted it over to an next person. So I called Glenn Thompson's. The mayor suggested I call Glenn Thompson's office, so they're working on that.
That's good. Mr. President, since the ARPA fund can be used for the fire company, will the council consider spending some money to give to the fire company since this is their time?
We will, I'm gonna say we will always consider it, yeah. From my understanding, the contract is still with our solicitor, and he will have it up until at least July 10th. He'll still
He
have it.
needs the ARPA money
Yeah.
too, which we haven't even, do you wanna work on that? We could work on that on the 16th. And then if you have a business meeting or with those interviews, then you can go ahead and work on some of the ARPA money, because remember the ambulance had asked for some for the first time ever.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, information from the Stifler McGraw engineers, Greg Geishauser and Corey Garrett. Motion to let our engineers continue on with the Railroad Street Bridge replacement.
You have the papers there. we're at the point now where our engineers have to examine it to see which, remember there were two covers, the wooden one
Yeah.
and the cement one being more
Correct.
expensive than the other. So it's up to our engineers now to give their input to PennDOT on what they feel it should be.
Has anyone contacted DGS for the flood project? That bridge was a part of the flood project, that possibly some of the monies from there could be used?
Money's from the flood project, that's been over for years. There's no money in there.
Where's the official letter to DGS that you have breached the contract?
All that,
Actually, it's a sponsorship agreement. Yeah.
I thought, I wasn't here, but I thought that was all taken care of a long time ago and just closed, everything was closed.
There's no records of it with or Waterways and Engineering.
Okay, I'll call and see if we can get.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, I need a motion to let our engineers continue on with the Rotary Street Bridge replacement.
Make motion.
Can I ask more about it though?
Yeah.
What is, so are we replacing the whole bridge or no? Is that,
That comes in with what's going on and what should happen with the money.
Yeah, for our engineers to look at it, they gotta see what exactly,
The bridge, the
I think
sidewalk.
when
needs
they
done
were
to it.
here last time, they said something about they wanted the engineer to draw on them, wanted to look underneath, see what's underneath and what the beams, what kind of shape they're in, to get a better idea of what, what all gonna be the whole thing, which probably will be, or, it's just gonna be from the bridge, just from one edge of one end of the bridge to the other end, it's not gonna be like extended on the road.
yeah.
But they wanted to see, check the beams and stuff underneath.
I thought we already had that checked though.
Well, we
By-
checked
by-
My stuff in
PennDOT.
McGraw.
by PennDOT, but not by our
Yeah.
engineers.
Sean has checked it and so has Mr. Albert, who is above Sean. He's been down and he keeps in touch with me. He's very nice about it. About, different new bridges that are going in. I don't think Ladon had seen this one.
Mr. President, when did you sign a contract with Stickman McGraw? They were here at a meeting last, or in April, but no, I don't remember council voting to accept a contract.
You like to talk into that, don't you? That's on the records. It's in the minutes.
Yeah, it was
Look
during
at
the
your videos.
first couple months.
Yeah,
of
look at your
the
video.
borough being
I didn't
reorganized.
see a contract signed. They were a little frustrated and left.
Wonder why.
I mean, there was no motion for any of this. I've looked at everything.
The motion for what they're doing now, we haven't had a meeting for 2 months.
That's right.
That's right. They came that night and proposed to do not more than $3,000.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't get it voted on because we didn't have a meeting. So now they're voting on it to get them here.
Just ask for clarification, Mr. President. I was asking for clarification.
And I answer because he doesn't get all the papers and the emails and stuff that I get. So that's why I answer you sometimes, Jerry. Because I'm the one that's here. But yes, it was definitely voted on.
Are they thinking
I object
about
to that.
drainage or anything like that? As,
Our guys are gonna do the drainage. They
okay,
can do that. It comes down off the hill and has made another river. And that way, and then it comes this way into the creek, and it's made its own 2 ditches there and paths. The only thing I haven't been able to find money for, and I had a woman help me on this, but is to do the sidewalls. Because the sidewall's getting real bad on the Durach's side, and it's eventually probably gonna do that, they said, on Bungo's side.
okay.
So I can't,
Yeah, yeah, I remember him saying that doesn't, you can't repair that under the grant that we got for the bridge? Because it's
Right.
not actually part of the
Yeah.
bridge.
It's for the bridge, the engineers, that money that we already got from Clearfield
Yeah,
is for that. So I'm still looking for a place to get the sidewalls fixed. That's the one, if you down look, there's a wire holding it up there in the dirges, but that has started to cave in.
yes.
So, when you do the bridge, we'd like to have that done too.
Well,
And the
yeah,
stream was checked. We had the stream checked, and believe it or not, the water's fine. But later on, they said that they would look into the mine drainage. But the drainage that is in there, if you see it, it's orange, it looks like it's bad. It's really not. There are actually trout in it. So we're trying,
so they'll do the bridge, but they won't do the sidewalks because of that.
not with the money from the
Not
county.
really, I don't really know.
But we can, there's other places to look, and one of them is that infrastructure money from the federal government.
Okay,
I have a motion to let our engineers continue on with the Rose Street Bridge replacement from Rick.
I second that motion.
A second from LeDawn. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, last couple years, we've had Lewis Paving sweep the streets for $150 an hour. Takes approximately 8 hours. It would be $1,200 taken from liquid fuels. Need a motion to have Lewis Paving, because they do a good job and it helps keep our drains clean. Cleaned out at least for the most part. Motion to have Lewis Paving sweep the streets for $150 an hour, approximately 8 hours. And have it taken from liquid fuels.
My motion for them to come sweep the roads.
Motion from LeDawn,
I'll second it.
second from Rick, to have Lewis Paving sweep the streets for $150 an hour. Approximately 8 hours, taken from liquid fuels. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right. Information from Keystone Collections in their contract regarding the per capita tax collection. They already collect for the school district. Motion to approve the contract with Keystone Collections to collect delinquent per capita taxes.
And that was in your packet in April.
Is it included in the, Mr. President, is it included in the contract that, that the tax collector has a right to converse with them? Or
No,
is it
they
all-
wrote the contract and that's it. So whatever.
So
they-
everything has to go through the secretary?
Oh, go ahead.
I can't see why we have to have more than one person collect delinquent taxes. We got Keystone, they collect everyone's delinquent taxes pretty near.
I'm not subject to right to know by law. I'm asking, do I have the legal right to converse with them by supplying information?
No,
Or is the secretary going to do all that? I don't mind. I'll keep my records and they can do, but how are they going to find out who's delinquent?
all that stuff was in the contract, but one of the things about them is they can garnish wages.
Yes.
Mhm.
So you're saying, Jerry, that if that's not put in the contract, you don't have to give them that information? Is that what you're saying?
I don't have to give anything. By law, I don't have, I'm asking for the privilege to speak with them And it sounds as if you're denying me the right to speak with this
No, we're just-
agency.
we're
And
just-
they're not gonna be
We're just
speaking.
asking questions, Jerry,
Well,
Yeah.
we'll look into that. then.
okay?
Yeah.
I think whether,
I had, in the.
my opinion, I think if you ask them and they deny it, then that's up to them.
And that will be up to them because we ran into something with that and they called me.
You know, if you contact me and say, no, we don't want to, then
Well,
that's not on us.
Our tax
I agree.
collector
I
got
agree.
to their office and got information that he wasn't allowed to have. And that's when they called me. So,
I mean, they wrote the contract though.
So,
However, they wanna do it, it's probably the contract they do with every municipality, honestly.
I requested to see that and I was denied, Mr. President.
no, you weren't.
I didn't get a copy of the contract. That's the proposed contract.
I can get it to you, that's no
it don't,
problem.
I don't think it has to be put in a contract for the Keystone to deny or accept your request.
All we need to do at this point right now is,
How are they gonna get the information of delinquencies?
They have their ways of doing
I'll
stuff, I'm
ask them.
sure.
You're not the only informative for that.
Okay.
And you gotta take it in your way, which is you have the right to do.
Is there any
We're not
counselors
refusing you for anything.
delinquent in taxes?
With that,
Are there any counselors delinquent in taxes?
I don't know, I know I'm not.
Yes or no?
I don't have that information, he does. And
Yeah,
that's what he's sitting there smiling about like an idiot.
Mr. President, I think that she should be reprimanded and sanctioned.
I think you gotta quit insulting her.
She is only an employee of this borough. I'm a public official, and also I'm a tax collector.
Wow.
And
And I'm a
we
public
are your
official.
bosses. You're not our bosses.
You're talking
You're
about there.
serving the people of this community.
Go ahead with
Yes,
And you
go
need
ahead.
to watch what you say to the people of this town.
Watch
Yeah.
what you say to them about me too.
Well, if you
You
only knew
keep
what they
telling
said about you,
everybody
Jerry, you'd
I'm
be
not-
surprised.
The legal secretary, and I am, and you still refute it, you're like Donald Trump.
Well, you're not registered as the AORO, and this borough is being subject to an appeal in Harrisburg. So there's a lot of negligence that's going on with this,
Yeah.
with this borough council.
Jerry, do you like this town? Do you like living here?
Mr.
Just a
President,
question.
I don't think that has any relevance.
Why? Because you can't answer that truthfully.
I'm serving this
He's allowed
town.
to ask
You're
questions
I
if
am
you want.
serving
You can serve,
this
but
town.
you don't have to like
Stop
it.
it.
I love this town.
If
I lived here
if I
for over
didn't
40
like
years.
this town, I would have left a long time ago. Mr. President, asked for a call of order and
I need a motion to approve the contract with Keystone Collections.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
A motion from Rick, second by Ladon, to accept the contract with Keystone Collections to collect delinquent per capita taxes. All in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, the new deputy tax collector.
That paper's in there too.
Yep, I have a letter here from Reverend Gerald Spade stating that he is wanting to have Mrs. Deborah Jean Spade as the official position as deputy tax collector.
Mr. President, I would withdraw that. Lawfully, I don't need a deputy. It's not required by law.
Okay, well,
But the council asked me to provide a name, and I did. But it's by law,
He says he may appoint one. Don't
May.
have to.
Okay.
May appoint one or more deputy tax collectors. That's, he's right on that.
so that's just if he gets sick or incapacitated or something, there's somebody there to take over.
That's the reason for it. But he chooses not to go that route.
All right,
I know they always
that's,
have before, so I figured it was.
that is withdrawn. Moving on, buildings and grounds. Rick?
Okay, on the pavilion that we talked about down at the park, tearing it down. There's a gentleman said he'll tear it down, take all the wood. The only thing the borough has to pay to have the shingles disposed of in the concrete. But all the wood, he'll remove it if he can have the trusses. No charge. And also, the street broom out here needs a lot of brushes to it, but he looked at it and he offered $100 for it. He said he'll take it for $100.
And two separate motions.
So that's it.
We have to get a roll off then for the concrete and the shingles. I have to call them and see.
Yeah, I don't think you'll need that big of a, like very big long one.
Not like
Right
the one
down
we
my
have.
concrete, no, when the shingles on there.
Yeah.
Concrete would have to be, it's on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. Well, how big is that spot for the concrete?
Well, the pavilion's 24 by 30, I think. I could be wrong on that. I think that's about what size it is. Now, I don't know how deep that concrete is.
Well, how bad is the concrete?
Bad. Pretty rough.
You would be really surprised if you would see it.
It is, and also, the gentleman that looked at the pavilion, he says he's looked at it a few times and it is sinking. I haven't checked that out.
That third one? It's
That
sinking.
pavilion that has to be torn down.
Oh yeah, I never heard of that one, but I
Yeah,
would doubt it.
he said a couple months ago when he walked in there, he could walk in and not touch, he'd not hit the trusses, now he can. So, I don't know.
Maybe-
I didn't measure it and then measured again, so that's just on his
It
word.
should have been down years ago.
I'd make a motion for, Marty Redbone, permission to tear down the pavilion for the wood, and that the borough, I suppose, is paying for the disposal of the concrete and the shingles.
I got a motion by Rick,
I second that, as long as he signs a release form.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that about that, yeah.
so I got a motion by Rick, second by LaDawn to have Marty Ridbaum take down the third pavilion for the wood, and the borough is responsible for getting rid of the shingles and concrete. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
I would make a motion to sell the street broom that we have to Marty Redbone for $100.
So a motion by Rick,
I second it.
seconded by LaDawn to sell the street brush to Marty Redbaum for $100. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No,
Motion
for the
carried.
roll off.
All right, the tax collector's room?
Okay. Tax collector room. It is ready. To what the tax collector's manual says. It has a door. You can lock it from the inside. It's always open until you go in there to use it. It'd be the door there at the maintenance break room. You walk through there, back into the other corner room. But it does have a door on it. It does have the lock on the door, which you can lock when you go in, and then when you come out, you can unlock it. You'll get a desk and a chair, and I've talked to many of the other tax collectors, and they do theirs on 1 to 2 days a week, evenings a week, usually from 5 to 7. None of them goes over 7 o'clock in the evening, not even by appointment. And some of them even goes 1 to 2 Saturdays towards the end of the early, we get the discount. And the other ones also, some of them do 1, some of them do 2, some of them don't do any Saturdays, but they have set that day from 2 to 4. They all do that, 2 to 4, the ones that does do it, to collect taxes. Then, on your receipt, I know you like printing them out, Gary, but you do not have to. I mean, that's one of the ways you can do it. It also, time that all you need to do really for a receipt is sign and date that it's paid on the second piece of the bill. First receipt of the payment, okay, but we're yeah. The receipt must be furnished either from a book containing a stub, from a bill with has a stub, which is the second half of the bill that's attached to the bill. It's right here in this book, Jerry.
Boy, I've never seen that. Maybe you could
Maybe
show
you ought to
that
look it
to
up.
me afterwards.
That's what it says on receipts,
Yeah.
okay? You have to set up your days and times. And this is a question I have for the other two here. We could either have someone come up here and unlock the door for them, or give them a key, not the combination, the keys to that door. When he comes in to collect taxes, he can enter that way. I really don't care which way it's done, because that door's gonna be locked, he ain't gonna be able to get in here, that door's gonna be locked, no one can get in here. So, but, you know, if you give him the key to unlock it, you don't have the combination, just a key, he can unlock the door when he comes in to collect his taxes. And he collects them, as soon as you walk in the door on the left side, where that used to be a door, now it's only half a door with a shelf on it. He can collect them right there, you don't have to come out of that room.
That's a new handicap entrance back here too. New handicap ramp and everything.
Yeah, we've got that ramp in there too, to make it accessible for handicap. That's a handicap ramp, it's installed. I
Has
purchased
the-
that for the borough.
Has
Name
the
it
occupancy
that,
inspector inspected the room? And pursuant
No,
to the,
no,
to
we
the,
don't have to have it inspected. We have an occupancy permit for this building.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Okay. There's no glass, the room
Don't
is
need
not,
no glass.
it's not secure.
Yes.
I wouldn't
What are you
use
gonna
the
keep in there,
building.
Jerry? You gonna keep anything in there?
These are public records,
Yes,
and I wouldn't I
No.
wouldn't use the building.
that's as is, that room, just the way it is where you're getting it. It's offered to you.
He's not
Take it or
gonna
leave
leave
it.
them here, he doesn't carry them back and forth.
Huh?
He wouldn't leave them here, he'd carry them back and forth.
I would think I wouldn't leave them one of your papers here. When I left, they'd go with me.
Well, I'd like to see the occupancy permit.
You want me to see it now?
No, wait till after the meeting.
Wait till after the meeting.
Because I can show you now, it's right outside that door.
I'm requesting a secure room, and
Then
that's
you
what
got-
I did from the very beginning,
got a
and you're
locked
saying
door.
you're
You got a secure
you're
room.
not gonna do
You got a
it.
locked
You got a
door.
locked door.
You got a locked
That's
door,
all
you don't get
need.
no glass in
We don't
that.
even have to give you that.
Yeah,
It's
We don't even
either
have to give you a
take
locked
it or
door.
you don't. It's
Well, I wouldn't use it, it's not secure.
well,
If
it's
you-
offered to you, you accept it. If you don't, then you gotta collect them down there. And down there, you
I
gotta
don't
be
have to do
handicap
anything.
accessible.
We have a room for you. It's
Ah.
secure, it's locked. Either take it or leave it.
That's it.
That's
I
all,
don't
I
think
mean,
it's not safe, I couldn't leave things there, I wouldn't trust it.
You can get them on file.
I don't trust this council.
That is,
And if you don't trust
Oh,
us, then I
that
don't know
was
what the
nice.
hell. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're always,
Kind
you're
of.
always saying that. I'm the only public official sitting
I
here.
don't even wanna care.
Wow.
All of you are employees
You're the only public
We're not
official.
employees,
what are we?
You're
We're
an
volunteering.
appointee.
we're volunteers.
you are. They're-
You're not an elected official.
What are they?
None of them are.
Right.
None of you are elected
He likes to hear
officials.
himself talk, so.
Yeah, he talks out his ears. As for if you refuse it, I see that in here. I didn't mark it, I should have.
Everybody is supplying their taxes with there was only one objection, and I will make an appointment with anyone for their time, and it don't have to be within any time limit.
You have it here, it's gonna be on those times, that's what all the other tax collectors are doing. You can't be different.
I'm not everybody else.
You're not different than anybody else.
This is, we have rights in that book. You didn't
That's right.
talk about any of the rights that a tax collector has.
You turn the
I don't
lights around.
want to, you turn things around.
I don't, I read it right out of here, I read it out of there.
Yeah,
Exactly how it
I
says.
read it,
Okay.
and we have an attorney with.
All right, the room's offered to you, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
End of discussion.
Need a motion to approve the stipulations of the use of the tax collector's office here in the Borough Building, so we can put an official offer in.
I make a motion that what we offered him is what he gets. He can either accept it or deny it.
A motion by
That's his
Rick,
privilege.
I second that. Most people have a hallway, so you're lucky you have a damn door.
motion by Rick, second by Dawn, to approve the stipulations of the use of the tax collector's office here in the Borough
I
Building.
know where to go with that.
All in favor?
All right,
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Secretary's report.
Well, the cleanup that the borough had to do on John Phillips's property, we've been reimbursed. It was $377 and some cents. And that was done willingly. We didn't have to have a notice sent by the solicitor or anything. The cleanup that we did on that Saturday really went well. The only phone calls we really had was about the tires. So I researched that to, oh great, it's probably not here. No, you guys have it. There's a, right there. I think there was that entry there.
Yeah.
So I wrote that out, up to hand to people who brought stuff up.
Right.
I could not find, and from what everybody's telling
tires.
me,
gave out that day.
there is no,
oh,
yeah, there's no place to dispose of tires for free. And the charges are on there, they're all a little bit different between Clearfield and Holidays. So to help the people out, that was handed out to them. But the dumpster was full, probably over full, because it sat up here. We told them it was full, and it sat up here for probably another 3 or 4 days till they picked it up. And I think at night people were putting more stuff in it, so it was kind of humped up. But that was paid for by the Solid Waste Authority. So I don't know if they would do it again, but it'd be really nice to have that every spring and fall. But, okay,
Did you, I'm sorry, did you post this like outside for people to look at?
I copied him so he could hand them out.
Okay.
We handed them out to everybody that came up.
Are you able to put one out there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was interesting, they said, the one said, we don't take tire tractors,
don't take time.
tires from tractors. And she said they're too big and heavy, and it broke their shredder before when they tried to do it, so she said they don't do them. Okay. The nursery, the preschool is coming back in, and they'll be following the calendar that the school district follows. And I think they're tossing around having a full day instead of half a day. I'm not quite sure about that one.
Are they still every day? Is it every day?
I don't know if she said it was every, oh, you mean, has it been? No, it hasn't been every day. It's 3 days a week. 2 or 3, I forget.
Mr. President, how much rent does the school pay for the usage of the building?
100,
150
150.
a month.
Thank you, Mr. President.
They also,
Give a generous donation for
they gave us a
fuel
donation towards the coal also.
for winter.
The Minute Mart. I got a letter from DEP. Forgot to put it in, sorry. They had a fuel spill when they were taking the old tanks out. So that was to just let us know DEP takes care of that. They also had a wall fall, one of the new ones they built on the side towards the church.
I heard about that.
And the Penn State inspectors know about that, so that's been taken care of by them. Minute Mart did not evidently like that they were denied the liquor license. So they're ongoing with this, trying to get it. And right now, they're in the process of suing the PLCD because they didn't grant the license. So those are for your information. Staples did come in and work on the computer a couple months ago. They had voted on that to take care of that. They put more security on it. They took some stuff off of it. They worked on it. They did it here, and they took it down there for 2 days.
Does it seem to be faster?
Well, some days,
Yeah, same.
but for some reason around here, Mondays seem slow. I don't know if there's a lot of people on it, or that's normal or what, but
Okay, so it doesn't need replaced or anything right now?
no, no,
So we're able to function at least with it,
yes.
is what I'm saying, okay.
And I got the QuickBooks software too on it. And the reason there was no report is because, I'll make this story as short as possible. The computer was hacked last week. So I had to call their repair, whatever, it's not repair, I can't think of the word. And I didn't give them any numbers, they didn't get anything like that. But somehow they got in, and when they fixed it, they wanted to look at everything. It was a 3-hour process. Then Staples, the guy at Staples, controlled that, and he looked in everything over that 3 hours to make sure there were no bugs put in. He said, basically, they just want to get in, try to get some money for you and get out. But he said, sometimes they can put a bug or a virus in, then that they can come back into it. And he said they couldn't find that. So that part is safe. So just in case, I changed the credit card, got rid of the old one, got a new one, contacted the bank. I did what Staples told me needed done. And I just got a pop-up that McAfee, security does a pop-up every now and then. When it came today, in the month of June, they cleared out 1,400, what word they used, so I wrote it down. 1,400 things came in that could be malicious or they didn't need to be on. And they taught me a lot of stuff about people, not pressing certain things and how these people get in. And he said when I first called the Staples store to get the number to call the guy, he said he had a lady just come in that day with her laptop. She was on the internet getting recipes, and boom, they got her for $800 because she gave them her bank numbers or something. I don't know exactly what it was, but he said the last couple months it has been very, very heavy. So people really need to be careful. Of course, now I'm afraid to turn the thing on, but some of the things are, if you notice, the margins aren't quite straight on this, because I'm not able to get that on there yet. And then Sean came up and put some of the things on there that were temporary too, just came off when he cleaned them off. And, but nothing was taken off that didn't need to be there. So I'm gonna have Sean, that bar across the top that lets me get into the bank and different things isn't on there, so Sean said he can put that back up. But it was quite an experience. I was really upset for a couple days, very, very upset. But they were wonderful. They really were, really good with it. So that's my hacking experience. I have a list from, I'm gonna write this up for you at one time so you can find them all over, but it doesn't need to be voted on tonight. This is from Joe DeGenero. He's a numbers guy. So he figures with what you pay, he wants a new furnace really bad. So that is one of the things we're looking into. But between the extra payroll, and this winter it was a lot of extra because of the junk coal, they really, really had a bad time with it. And they had to buy 2 new grates again because they keep breaking. They're $300 a piece. We had to buy wood, keep the junk coal burning, and that was $500. So he figured with everything, and I'll, get this food take home then, that it costs over $21,000 just to keep that furnace going correctly. So how accurate these are, I don't know, but he's faulting him for that. He said, if we use the existing furnace, this is what needs done. He needs to know, to prepare. 7 or 8 grates are going to need replaced, and that's going to cost $2,400. The possible sidebars need replaced. They'd like to have the chimney cleaned from all they know. Walt knows it's never been done. New stack of something about a pipe, I can't read here. But they went to Lucas's for some of these prices too. With the dampener, if they have to buy wood again. He found nut coal delivered from Grampian Coal, $4,100 for 21 tons. See, we had gotten that nut coal the year before. It burned so well, and I was really pleased with that. But then that junk stuff come. There's still a whole bunch. They said, I haven't been down, I don't want to go down. There's big pieces of bone like this stacked down there.
Yeah, they still have that halfway up the wall.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah, he
So-
took me down and showed it to me.
He said the furnace just isn't heating the building, we know that. With all the maintenance that has to be done, there's no guarantee that we'll be efficient this year as well, ? So, with this, all the grants out there, I have somebody from North Central coming this week to help, and I've been looking, but they have grant writers there. We're gonna come down, see if we can't find something for the new furnace, to put a new furnace in. And you knew about the blight grants, that's all coming through the redevelopment authority. First two houses that come down will be Wolf's and Strong's.
Oh, it's up here, Cash Talks. Is that the third
Yeah,
one?
which I don't know, she just told me the first two,
First
so I
two,
don't know
yeah.
what she has.
Well, I thought there was three of them she picked out. Okay.
Mr. President,
The bridge,
what's
not done yet.
strong property?
I'm not done yet. The bridge, I said we're continuing to work on that. And we're working on street grants. Sean's gonna come next week, but I'll let you know what day.
Okay, like I
So
said,
PennDOT will be here.
right now, as long as it's not Monday. If there's any other day comes up, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I told him not Monday. I think that's it. I put a lot of time, and this is what I like to do. I like to work on grants. I've taken classes and there's a lot of new things, but the people in Clearfield and from the state are wonderful at working and helping. So I'm hoping that with the infrastructure grants from the federal government and more local ones, that we can get these things done. May not get done this year, I don't know. It might not get done till next year, because they take a lot of time.
You only do so much.
Yeah, and the last thing I have to tell you is, I don't know what can be done about this. I'm looking into it. Jerry reported me to Harrisburg again, which, okay, my fault completely. I take responsibility for that. I did not get his right to knows to him on time. By the way, I have one on the desk here for you. I just haven't had anybody drop it off. So I get them done as I can. When I get the things, the printouts from the bank that he wants, they charge money for that.
Objection.
But I have not found out if I have the right yet from Harrisburg to charge him that. There's a lot of things going on that just aren't exactly, I had nobody to teach me this stuff. But I'm more than willing to call all the time. So now there's gonna be a back and forth to Harrisburg between them and Jerry and me, okay, about getting these out. Like I said, I take responsibility for not getting them out in time. But I also want you to know that some of them are unbelievable. They're 5 points long, and there's a whole bunch in with those 5 points. If I would take and do that particular one, you would be paying me for an entire day
I know.
to just do those right to knows that he wants to have. So I want the taxpayers to know that. You want me to work on the everyday stuff here? Because there's a lot on my shoulders for that. Joe, you understand that. There is also a lot, I want to do the grants. The money's there, this area deserves them, and that's taking a lot of time. So I put my 20 hours way plus in. But it does tick me off, and I'm sure he'll be glad to hear that. It does tick me off when I get all these right to knows. For what reason? One of them I have to research a couple years. I have to go into the storage room and find some minutes from a couple years ago. Have fun. End of report. I'll shut my
Mr.
mouth.
President, it only takes about 15 minutes to get bank statements, and you know that you can get them online for free.
I
And
can.
if she can't do it, Mr. President, I'd be happy to come
I'm
up.
sure.
Oh, you'd be happy to
Oh,
get
yeah,
that
you'd be
computer
glad,
in.
we're happy to do that.
It'd be real easy. She can put her own password in, I'll keep my eyes closed,
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah.
I could show her how to get
I've
those
already
bank
talked with the
statements.
bank. First of
That's
all,
the only request that I made, Mr. President. She didn't answer it. She is not registered as the AOL.
do you mean that I don't have to be doing these?
No, you don't have to be doing anything because the
Yes.
council is negligent. They
Yeah,
haven't
exactly.
registered you as the AORO.
Then he can't file charge on you for not doing it. Yeah.
Well,
He should-
council may get a reprimand.
Mr. Spade,
Well,
I know you
Good luck with
had
that,
requested for, see the documents, legal documents from me. Did you receive them?
No, I didn't get them yet.
Here they are.
Me too.
Even my clearance that you mentioned on your video, if I have, it's
Look
there.
at him smiling.
That's great.
Yeah, that's great, but why
I
did
haven't
you do that?
received them, but
Why do you aggravate people like that?
Because he likes to.
it's not
Alright.
aggravation, it's the law.
No, yeah.
I'll,
Of course
I'll
it's
give
the
you an
law.
example,
Okay, the
Mr.
law.
President. if
Okay,
I may.
law.
If I
Here's
could
all
speak.
Rick's documents. If anybody wants to see them,
Okay,
taxpayers are
Mr.
welcome.
he
Spade,
needs to stop.
Mr.
my-
We're done.
Mr. President,
just yell.
I'm about ready to walk out. We're done.
Mr. President,
Please, no, we're done. Please, no more. I'm done. I'm done.
Next meeting,
Excuse me,
Oh, we got Jackie back
I
here.
don't wanna hold you up, but, could we revisit this John Phillips cleanup? The borough cleaned it up, correct?
Correct. And they paid for it.
Okay, now, the borough set a precedence of doing this. There's other sites here in the borough. Are you going to address them?
Yeah.
The cleanup?
They're
Phillips
picking the
did
worst ones.
refunded our money for that.
Yeah, because there are quite a few of them.
Oh, yeah, there is.
And it's-
How many goes to your house?
thank you.
Yeah, that's.
And that's
I
the
know.
whole year, up to date. Instead of you asking for
Yeah,
1 or
right.
2 months at a
There's
time,
varmints
there's
in
the
it
whole one up
and,
to the end of June.
Thank
Same
you.
with Sherry's Restaurant. I mentioned that too as well back.
Very unsanitary.
It is.
So,
Which one's that?
But Phil, you know, when Phillips, we did send them a letter and they got back to us, sent us a check for what we had
Oh,
for dumpster stuff. We gotta notify them about it and take it from there.
you see, that's an extra cost to the borough.
It is.
But if you.
The
set a
people who own that
precedence,
property should
then
clean
you
it up.
should look at the other sites also.
That can be done. But then if somebody doesn't pay, we had the solicitor here talk to us about that. If somebody doesn't pay and you have to take them to court, then you go through all that. It probably would have come to more than the 377. The reason that was chosen is because the neighbors were complaining they were,
And then you put a lien on the
Vermin.
property, right?
yeah, it can go that far, you're correct.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
wait.
I gave her a list of the, most of them that I found. I went around and found them.
Yeah, they're gaining,
Yes, they are.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes, they
And
are.
then the redevelopment authority, I think part of what they did was they took the houses too that were most back on taxes. And then they have people who are, neighbors who are willing to buy that property, like McNaldy's did. Now, the redevelopment authority said that they're never going to collect what they paid for that, but they'll get a portion of it back.
Yeah.
So, look how beautiful they've done with that. I never know that building was there. But those two are what the authority has chosen on Main Street next. But when?
Yeah.
Don't know. It's up to them.
Thank you.
next meeting.
Hi,
Oh,
Jack.
good.
sorry about this, I came home from church and fell asleep. Because normally a council doesn't meet on a Sunday.
You're right. We already
We
discussed
already
that.
discussed that.
Did you guys bring up about the light pole at the fire hall?
No.
Okay, there is a street light at the fire hall that has three-phase power. It runs across the front of the building. We have eliminated the power pole, the whistle pole, and put up a new one, which we're eliminating three-phase power. And a letter needs to be sent to from council with pool number F-8799 MV-100.
Jack, wait a minute. I did that.
I know it.
Okay.
Then why didn't you
We said
stop?
needs to be.
Well, needs to be that a Mark Irvin, did you include his name?
I don't remember, but
Well, then we need a new letter sent.
I gave it to the person you told me to. I typed it up and mailed it to them.
I'd like to see that because I was under the impression that Mr. Irvin would be taking that pole out at no charge. And Mary Sue's telling me now that they're coming back to you with a charge
That
because they
woman-
had to relocate their power source to a secondary light. All right, and you should not be paying the $247 to have that pole removed. And in the long run, it's gonna save the borough one street light. I don't know what a street light costs you. I figured.
You have your own light down.
Right, I
Yeah,
figured
you
two
did
of
tell
the
me that. You
council
talked to me
members
about
were
that,
on
yeah.
previous years,
That you don't
may
want
have
to
been
do.
here when they removed the other lights and what their reasoning and costing was behind that at that time.
Did you get, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I thought Jack and I had taken care of this, but the letter was sent, I sent it to who you told me to.
You did tell me that, however, you did not, did you bring up tonight about the cost of removing the pole?
No, because, why, Jack? Because.
Well, you told me the price of the pole, not,
But you told me, you were upset and you said that shouldn't be charged, that you were gonna get in touch with them, not, and you
Correct.
told me not to do anything
I
else.
cannot do the contacting directly because council needs to approve.
Okay, then why didn't you just call and tell me that?
That's a thing, things should not be happening in the borough without council's knowledge.
That's right.
Is what I'm getting at.
Amen.
Okay,
What's that light pole number again?
F-8799, and then there's another series of numbers, MV100. Because I don't want to run the borough to additional cost. You know, you're having difficulty.
if
right
I
now.
had to pay for it, I would come to them for it, Jack. I wouldn't do it without that.
And she doesn't come without.
You told me to just
You
stop.
told me that you received a letter that they were gonna charge you money.
I know, and
Did this council hear that?
no, we haven't met for 2 months. And when you talked to me, you told me to stop.
Mary Sue,
Don't do anything else about it. You were gonna call
Mary
them.
Sue, they're meeting now for the first time in 2 months.
Yes.
There should be a list that you should be here for the next 4 hours.
There is. But I didn't put that on it.
Thank you, Jack.
What's the,
Now, let me say something here. I know I talk too much. $277, and he got upset and he said, they shouldn't do that, they should be removing it, and then he told me why, and he said, stop. You know, I said, I'll call him. He said, no, I'll call them. So I stopped.
I can't.
Next time I'm not listening to you.
I can't call them because I
Then
don't
why
have.
didn't you tell me that?
I told you, the council has to give the approval
Right.
of it.
That's not what you told me. You
No.
were going to call them.
I will call them.
You wanted to know why they were
I'll
charging.
give a call. I have no problem. But
Well, I don't either.
I need council's approval.
So what you need is a motion for council to give you the permission to call that guy
Yes,
Yeah.
to have the pole removed
yes,
and street light.
yes.
Now, see, I didn't come to you for that because I didn't know that needed approval
I didn't think so.
to remove the light.
It sure does.
So,
Can you do that?
yeah,
Huh?
well, you can't. It's not on the agenda. You have to wait till the
Could be
16th.
could be under the visitors.
Yeah.
I'm a visitor.
They can't make a motion. That's the new law, Jack, unless it's an extreme, and as they say, an extreme emergency. That's not my fault. Let me say something here. I absolutely want advice. That's fine. But to Jerry and everybody listening, I'm not perfect. I walked in here, wait a minute, let me talk. I walked in here and volunteered my time for a year to help this borough, which I don't even live in, but that's what I think of the borough. This to me is my home. So, Jerry, for you to criticize and say, oh, it should have been done, it should have been done. I had no one in this building to teach me these things. There wasn't a secretary here to teach me, and this is what we do, this is what we do. I read the manuals, I call everybody I can think of. Jack has helped me with things and reminded me about things. Diane has reminded me about things. So stop with the sneering that I've done something wrong. If it's wrong, we'll fix it. I don't want it to be wrong. Honest, I don't.
Mary,
Now, I'd like you to put that on your YouTube and not cut it out.
Mr. President, there has been 2 applications for a secretary. Have you seen those?
Yes, I have.
I have not, well,
I
Dawn's
have.
in charge of personnel, she's seen
And
it.
I have did interviews.
Okay, thank you.
That was a while ago.
And there was
And I
only one,
don't
not
think-
two.
No, it should have been recently because they called me. People call me all the time.
Well, I'm sure they do.
I bet.
And I've advised them to put in an application.
I didn't receive it in the mail, and I pick the mail up a couple times a week.
There's 2 professional secretaries.
Nobody's come up to get one recently, have they?
It wasn't advertised.
Yeah, I do have a copy of those, all the rules, some of the important rules that presides to that. You can have that. I'll give
Appreciate
it
it.
to you after the meeting.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
I have 3 or 4 other items. There was a motion for the council to pay the fire company donation for you the year 2022, which was never done. That should be taken care of probably immediately, because now you have 2023 due. I'm under the assumption that the borough council didn't approve their bill. Well, if there's a motion on the books to pay it, it should have been paid.
I'll have to look.
You weren't here, but I
I was
asked
here in
them to do that.
2022, so I don't know. I
Now,
can't
it's
say nothing
in the
on that.
minutes. It
There's
was
a note on there
approval,
about that.
because I have a letter here from 2018 that was sent to the council. If you were on council at the time, you received this letter, basically saying that it's, the fire company, the contract's one thing, and, you should be assisting financially with the fire company. And that's not to state that that means workman's comp, which is a requirement by law, or the pass-through monies, which is the Relief Association monies. You have bills for the evening, why can't they be included in your bills for the evening and have it paid? Workman's comp, did you get anything on that, Mary Sue?
Not yet.
Oh, you did?
No, not yet.
Okay. The workman's comp is coming up this month. That bill is a percentage yours, a higher percentage Bucharia Township, and a higher percentage for White Township. As soon as that bill is received, if copies are given to each of the municipalities, they'll pay you accordingly. Mary Sue has a good form, she told me from last year to do that. Should you get approval tonight to forward that bill ahead of time, or once it gets here to them?
I don't need, that's something that's done,
What
that's in the budget. If there's something that's in the budget like that, I don't have to come to them. When that comes, I'll contact Kim. Kim and I got together and made up that form. It was a little bit easier.
The main reason for the council members is the quicker you get that to the other municipalities, the quicker you get your money back. So therefore you can maybe make a full payment instead of partial payments, where they charge you for the monthly charges or the quarterly
I'm allowed
charges.
to make a motion. I motion you hire Jack and Jerry for the secretary.
Believe me, if I was younger and lived in the borough, I probably would. I'd probably be sitting on council.
I'd be happy to be the secretary if it wasn't on a
The
conflict of
last
interest.
item I had, which we were here in, I believe it was May. When did you meet? May, early May, for the fire company to have use of the park for our poker float, which has come and gone. I think most of the council was aware of it, Mary Sue was aware of it. The mowing was done by the fire company and Mr. Nardelli, the whole fields. Borough council or borough employees did not know that big field.
Excuse me, I want to let you know that the borough worker has been using our personal,
But
mower to mow.
I didn't know who mowed the other, but I'm just saying.
Everybody's trying to help Jack.
But
I don't know why you bring that up.
Okay, what I'm getting at is
Okay.
you have less employee hours paid out because that wasn't done. To assist the fire company in receiving their monies, there again, that should be taken in consideration. Mary Sue, you shake your head like this is nothing. $3,500 means an awful lot to the fire
I didn't
company.
say it was nothing.
Well, you shake your head like
I
it
know, but
is.
you were told that until the solicitor gets back to us and that, we can't do anything about
The
it.
solicitor doesn't need back to you
Yes,
for
he
the fire
does.
company funds.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. It was a motion on the books from prior council
Mhm.
to accept that and make the payment.
Right.
So,
But it's a prior council. I'm only going by what he says, so. But as far as the mowing, it isn't completely done at all the edges.
no.
But yeah, Rick's been helping. Who else came down besides the fireman?
Jack came down one time.
Jack
I went
so-
down for 6 hours.
Marty was down, Marty Redbone down, cut quite a bit of it.
Okay. And Walt's been bringing our tractor down.
I mean, I've been trying to keep up with it.
It's just,
No,
it's
that's
not our
okay.
fault. Sugar's doesn't have it done yet.
In
Oh,
between.
I know that, the mower, yeah.
It's just, it's been a pain, but
Yeah,
they had to
Walt,
send for a,
Walt and Joe said it should be done this week.
they couldn't get a part or
They
something,
should have gotten, they should get it this week.
so. We don't have Mr. Shawley to mow it anymore, remember when he used to?
No,
But it doesn't have anything to do with the hours. I can guarantee you that when one of those guys puts 20 or 30 hours in, they get it in and more.
I'm not objecting to where they're putting hours, and it's hard to see the potholes and the park and the drainage ditches and the washouts and I understand it's very hard for one and a half employees, or however you wanna call that.
Yeah, it isn't even one now. But anyhow,
Anyway,
But can I have all 4 of those items listed in the minutes?
is what?
Listed in the minutes?
the 4 items,
Placed in the minutes?
Oh, okay, I didn't know what, I thought you meant was it in the, no.
No,
it wasn't.
listed in the
will be
minutes.
placed into the minutes for this meeting.
We're
Okay.
meeting this month again.
What's that?
We're meeting this month again.
Tomorrow night?
No, it'll be on the 16th,
Sunday again.
July 16th.
Another Sunday.
That's the only time we get the 3 of us together.
There's only 3 councilors.
Yeah.
There was resignations.
So,
I didn't know whether you were gonna meet in July
I mean,
anyway.
I'd rather have it.
Well,
during
we
the
figured
week.
we would do it all because we need to do some interviews, and if we get anybody, Walt's done July 31st.
Yeah,
He's retired.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do. I mean, we've been putting it out there.
Same time, 1 o'clock?
I think it was,
One.
well, that's what
Yeah.
we were just ready to go
Oh,
at,
okay. Yeah.
to find out.
well, you
I'll
got
call
one,
out the light pole. Okay. I'll take care of it.
Mr. President, thank you for meeting today. Thank you for addressing and permitting all of us to say something.
Next meeting, the 16th,
It's the only day I
Like we
have
agreed?
off.
like we said. 12 to 1 for the, 12 to 1 for the anybody coming in who is
Good job,
interested in their
sir.
positions, yeah. Then we'll have a meeting at 1 o'clock on the 16th.
Okay.
All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
Is that next Sunday?
2 Sundays from now.
2 Sundays from now.
Oh, 2 Sundays. Because I have a reunion.
I motion to adjourn.
I second it, I'm sorry, I was busy.
I have a motion from Dawn, seconded by Rick to adjourn the meeting at 2:22 PM. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried, meeting adjourned.
How does that do that?